If you want to know what's happening with your network from the command line, one of your best tools is the net command. Now, the net command has been around forever. Literally, the first network command I learned in the mid-1980s was the net command. The net command even predates Windows. It comes from the old Microsoft LAN Manager, the first version of software that ran in DOS. I mean, this thing is old, but as old as it is, it has been updated and improved, and you find it even on the most recent versions of Windows 10. So let's take a quick tour and see what the net command can do for us. Now, to help you out here, what I've got is I've got a system that is on a work group named Workgroup. And there's just a few other computers out there. So one of the first things we can do with the net command is run netview. So for starters, if you type net by itself, it'll give you some ideas of what you can type with that. Now, I'm not going to go through every one of these examples. Some of them are a little obsolete, but we'll definitely do a number of these, and let's do that netview. So I'm going to start off by typing in netview. And you can see I have a total of 4 systems that are on my work group. I've got a computer called Mary, a computer called Studio, which is the machine right here. I've got a machine called Windows 10 Desktop VM, and I've got a printer. So running netview by itself is a great way to make a quick and dirty look of what computers can my system see within my work group itself. Now, from there, we can do some interesting things. For example, one thing that's really important is to be able to use net user. A lot of times you want to know, well, who am I right now in terms of the network? So I can run net user, and it's going to sit here and say, well, I'm on the computer Studio, and my account is called Michael M, and I am an administrator. So just a quick, I forgot who I logged in as, or what am I right now? This is a great tool to use, just good old net user. So let's go ahead and continue with netview. Now this time I'm going to type netview, but instead of just typing netview, I'm going to type the actual name of a computer out there. So let's go ahead and do Win 10 Desktop VM. And now what we can see are the actual shares that are on that particular system. So right now I have 2 folders shared on there, one called Share Me and the other one called Users. So with that, you can do some pretty interesting stuff. Like one of the things we can do is we can actually go through the process of mapping the drive using the net use command. So I'm going to type net use. Now, when you map a drive, what you're doing is you're assigning a drive letter to that particular shared folder. So in this case, I'm going to pick an arbitrary drive letter that I know I'm not using. In this case, I'll use W. And then I just type in the name of the server, which in this case is going to be Win 10 Desktop VM. And then I type the share name, and you can see the share name is called Share Me. Now, 2 things to notice here. First of all, you'll see it says the command completed successfully, so it worked. The other thing is you'll notice that I'm just typing in lowercase. Everything that you do with Windows naming at this level is always converted to uppercase, so it doesn't really matter about case when you're dealing with Windows. However, the interesting point is, watch this. So I'm going to go to W, and let's type a dir. Oh, and here's a file called ohidante.txt. Hi Dante, you know who you are. So I can use the net command to simply access a shared resource. Now we can turn that around just as easily. What I want to do now is actually take a resource on my local machine and share it out to the work group. So if you take a look on the screen here, you'll see I've got this folder called Dante. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer that up for people to access. So what I'm going to do is just type in the net command, but this time I'm going to type in share. So the first thing I do is I type in the name that I want to call it out on the network. I'm going to call it Dante. I could call it anything I wanted, but we'll call it Dante. And then I type in the name of the resource, which in this case is going to be, just because I know it's on my desktop. And then the actual name of the folder, you can see it right there, is Dante. And I hit enter, and it can't find the file specified. So you've got to be careful about dealing with the net command. Like any command line command, if you don't type the command in right, it's going to give you errors like this. So if we take a look here, I'm going to take, where did I make a mistake? Oh, I see it. I typed in user, not users. So I'm going to type in net share. Share name is going to be Dante equals C:\\. In fact, I think I've got this in my, yeah, I do. Okay, I did a cut and paste, so I know I got it in right this time. So net share Dante equals C:\\. users, Michael M, desktop Dante, which is that folder right there. We hit enter, and Dante has now been successfully shared. So anybody else, if they want to, they can go to their command line and do a net use. However, this is also going to show up in their network folder, just like any other shared resource you would through the graphical user interface. Okay, now there's a few other kind of unique commands that you might run into with the net command. Let me run through those. The first one is called net accounts. Net accounts is a pretty handy way to get an idea of what type of settings you have for all of your accounts. So if we take a look here, for example, the minimum password age and days is 0, so people can keep the same password as long as they want. Maximum password age and days, 180. Minimum password length, so we have to have 7 digits for a password. So it gives you an idea for this individual local system how we have set up our accounts. The last one is called net start. Now net start's a little bit dated, but I want to at least bring it up to you. What you have is a bunch of network-based services running on this system. Now, me normally, I'm just going to run services.msc if I need to start and stop services. However, if you need to, you can do some stuff from here. So I'm going to run net start. And what it's showing you right here are all of the different services that are network-based that are running on this particular system. So if I want to, I can turn something off. Let's pick something relatively safe. I am going to turn off the World Wide Web Publishing Service. So to do this, I'm going to run the net stop command. And I can turn it off just by typing it in, and I got to get it right. So let's see if we get it right the first time. Let me look at that once, make sure I got it right. And it's going to go ahead and stop my web server. And I did have a web server running on this particular system. So the net command has been around for a long, long time. It is an incredibly powerful tool. However, in most cases, my big use with the net command more than anything else is doing that net view. You talk about a quick and dirty way to be able to see what's happening on your network from the command line, nothing's going to beat it.